Hello class and welcome to week 13. As I indicated in my announcement, we are now beginning to work in module 7, which is incorporating the role of nursing in epidemiology, emergency and prevention preparedness, and bioterrorism, and how we're managing the population, incorporating prevention and restoration measures into the community. So as nurses, how do we incorporate epidemiology, which we know is the study of incidents and determinants such as health conditions, diseases, disability, morbidity, and mortality, or demography, which is the study of the human population as it relates to statistical data. How do we apply that in population management as it relates to emergency preparedness? And as it relates to bioterrorism, which is an intentional act to do harm, cause illness or death by using some biological agent, such as a bacteria or other virus or disease, some type of toxin, which can be some type of paralytic, or for example, anthrax, the use of anthrax to affect millions of people. We can do this by different levels of prevention. So there are 3 levels of prevention that you're going to learn about in this module, and one is primary prevention. And the way I think about primary prevention is the initial steps before we get there. So if we're thinking about just general health, we try to eat appropriately or do exercise to prevent any chronic condition from forming or developing. In a population management perspective, how do we use primary prevention to manage a population or be prepared for such emergency or biological terrorism acts? So we arm ourselves. As nurses, we have disaster preparedness drills. We are ready and prepared for such events. Secondary prevention. So secondary prevention, I think, is identifying a situation or adverse condition so that we can initiate appropriate treatments. So in a population, if we identify that a disaster has happened or some type of disease or illness has occurred, we can identify it, detect it, and treat it. And in the tertiary stage, I think of that as such as we've diagnosed a person with diabetes. How do we manage it? How do we prevent it from progressing to further complications or disabilities? So we think about minimizing or reducing the risk once the event has occurred, is the way I think about it. So population-based assessments and interventions as it relates to emergency preparedness and bioterrorism, they're designed to manage specific populations in the community. And this can be achieved at all 3 levels of care prevention: primary, secondary, and tertiary. So as you continue to work on Module 7 and refer to your readings, you'll learn a lot about how we as nurses can be prepared and how we can act and use our skills in the event of a bioterrorism or disaster, how also we can be prepared before these type of events happen and how we can manage the community. And just a reminder, you do have case study number 2 that's going to be due on the 17th. Please reach out to me if you have any difficulties getting your assignment submitted on time for any reason. I'm willing to work with you. Also, I know that, again, some of you have missing grades, and I promise you I will have all of those grades completed and entered without penalties. So thank you, and I hope you have a great week.